We have breaking news overnight on the Valley today. 3 people are now dead after a head-on crash in Ransom County last night. What authorities are telling us so far.
And more overnight breaking news. Crews in Moorhead responding to the scene of a house fire late last night. What we know so far coming up.
Also ahead on the Valley today, we have election results from the North Dakota primary election.
Plus, Summer Schnellbach joining us with a look at our forecast on our Wednesday, June 12th, 2024. It's a first alert weather day. The Valley today at 6 a.m. starts right now.
This is the Valley Today.
Hi, everyone. Good morning. Thank you for joining us. We are already off to a very busy start to our Wednesday morning. I'm Ashlyn Hill.
And I'm Alex Larson. And we have Summer Schnellbach with us this morning. Good morning, Summer.
Good morning.
First alert weather day.
Yeah, a first alert weather morning.
Yes.
Yeah, we were expecting, most of the activity to really start to blossom and develop this afternoon and evening. This morning has been a bit of an appetizer. Yeah. We've had some storms moving through, generally non-severe, although in South Dakota, one storm has popped severe for quarter-size hail. It's just to the south of our viewing area, clipping parts of our viewing area. So we'll take a look at that. But yeah, it's setting up to be a pretty active Wednesday for the middle of the week. In addition to the storm potential, it could be the warmest day of the year in some parts of the valley, specifically the southern Red River Valley. A little perspective, the warmest day so far this year in Fargo, May 17th, 88 degrees. We'll be pushing 90 today, so we could see the warmest day. And then still looking at more showers and storms through your Father's Day weekend. This morning, taking a look at your coffee forecast, might want to reach for the iced coffee this morning. Already 68 degrees. We're seeing mostly sunny skies here in Fargo as storms are exiting, and a high of 90. Temperatures around the region right now, 68 in Grand Forks, partly cloudy, 65 partly cloudy in Thief River Falls, 58 with clear skies in Jamestown, 63 Detroit Lake, 62 in Bemidji. And we're seeing these morning showers and storms again exiting the Central Valley, pushing across northwestern Minnesota. Most of these are non-severe, just a lot of thunder and lightning. Well, here's what we're seeing a little closer. Moving through Thief River Falls, now pushing towards Waskish, through Fosston, and not as much thunder and lightning now in Lakes Country, as that's starting to weaken already a little bit. Here's a look at that one severe thunderstorm warning, just clipping parts of Roberts County, again for quarter-sized hail. If you're heading out to the pool today to cool off, it is going to be a warm one. Be sure to pay attention, eyes to the sky. If thunder roars, time to head indoors. You don't want to be outside near water when these severe storms develop later today. But here's a look at temperatures this afternoon, 5 o'clock. 90 in Fargo, 84 Grand Forks, 86 in Oaks. We're also looking at 85 in Fergus Falls, 84 Detroit Lakes, 80 in Thief River. Now, this afternoon and evening is going to be the primary event for the severe activity. We're looking at an upgraded risk for severe storms, primarily in northwestern Minnesota. We've got a level 2 and even a level 3 for that enhanced risk for numerous severe storms. We're going to go over the impacts that are possible, hail, wind, tornadoes, details on that, and take a look at the very latest timing and track coming up here in just a couple minutes. A lot to go over. You're going to want to stick around.
Yeah, our Wednesday's shaping up to be very busy.
Yes, it is.
All right. Thank you, Summer. Breaking news overnight, 3 people are dead after a head-on crash in Ransom County yesterday. North Dakota Highway Patrol says it happened at around 4:18 p.m. 2 vehicles were involved in a head-on crash on Highway 27, roughly 4 miles east of Lisbon.
They say the crash caused both vehicles to then start on fire. It killed the drivers and a passenger. It remains under investigation by the NDHP as they work to identify the victims. And more breaking news overnight. Crews in Moorhead responding to the scene of a reported structure fire late last night. They were called out shortly after 11 p.m. to a house in the 4200 block of 41st Avenue South.
Scanner traffic indicating there was an explosion in the basement of that home and smoke inside of it. According to Pulse Point, crews were on scene until just before 1 this morning. Stick with Valley News Live as we continue to get more information. Thousands took to the polls yesterday to let their voices be heard, and many voted on what was one of, if not the biggest watch race of the primary election, the Republican nomination for governor.
Valley News Team's Bobby Fallett spoke with the winner, Representative Kelly Armstrong, about the win and what's next for his campaign.
It took about 1 hour and 20 minutes before the Associated Press called the race, and Representative Kelly Armstrong getting the Republican nod for the general election on November 5th.
We ran a great campaign, really proud of my team, and now we're going to fly back to D.C. at 5 a.m. tomorrow morning and then reset next week and get ready for the general.
While the celebrations happened Tuesday evening, Armstrong and his campaign realized they still have a lot of work to do over the next 3 to 4 months.
You can manufacture a lot of things in a campaign, but you just can't manufacture enthusiastic support. And we've just been humbled by how much of that we've had all across the state.
One thing that Armstrong will focus on for the general election, keeping the trust of those who he has support from, and working to gain the support from those who didn't vote for him.
We don't take anybody's support for granted, so I'm an old baseball coach. I'll be nervous until the second Wednesday in November.
Reporting in Bismarck, Bobby Fallett, Valley News Live.
As he just mentioned, Armstrong's team, along with his running mate, Representative Michelle Strinden, will soon start preparing for that November 5th election. And here's a closer look at that race and the outcome. Armstrong coming in with 73% of the vote to Tammy Miller's 27%.
We're told Tammy Miller has officially conceded the race, but will not be speaking with reporters until sometime this morning. She was in Fargo last night at a private watch party.
She did, however, issue an official statement congratulating Kelly Armstrong. She said, in part, "I want to congratulate Congressman Armstrong on his hard-fought campaign and victory. Throughout this campaign, I loved traveling our state, meeting with voters and listening to their suggestions and concerns. I intend to run through the tape as lieutenant governor, continuing to do everything I can to help this great state thrive."
She also endorsed Armstrong and encouraged her supporters to get behind his campaign this fall. Armstrong's going to go on to face Fargo's Merrill Pepcorn in the November general election for governor.
The state senator ran unopposed on the Democratic side in the race for governor. As Pepcorn turns his attention now to the continued gubernatorial race and the November election, he told us here at Valley News Live what he believes he will need to cross the finish line.
But what it's going to take for us to win this campaign and this election is to win over the independents and perhaps some moderate Republicans as well, and get all of the Dem NPLers in the state to get out and vote.
Pepcorn says his next steps are to travel the state of North Dakota to engage with as many people as he can before November 5th. And Julie Fedorchak winning a 5-way contest between candidates who ranged from seasoned office holders to little-known contenders. She would be the first woman to hold North Dakota's House seat. The other Republican contenders included Rick Becker, Cara Mond, Alexander Balazs, and Charlotte Moore.
Fedorchak will go on to face retired Marine Corps officer and teacher Trygve Hammer. He defeated his competitor in the Democratic primary last night. And last night, voters approved a high-profile initiative that would bar people from running or serving in the U.S. House or Senate if they are turning 81 years old during their term.
61% of people voting yes for that measure, 39% voting no. Supporters say the ballot measure setting the congressional age cap is intended to avoid age-related and cognitive functioning issues among office holders during their term. In other news this morning, 2 people from Fergus Falls are now hurt after a crash in Douglas County near Brandon just before midnight last night.
Minnesota State Patrol says a Jeep Compass was heading westbound on I-94 when the vehicle blew a tire, lost control, and hit the cable median barriers near milepost 89.
The driver, identified as 33-year-old Donald Enrique Diaz, as well as the passenger, 22-year-old Furman Ramirez, both suffered non-life-threatening injuries. New this morning, a Wyndmere, North Dakota man was arrested after a chase in South Fargo. This happened on Monday night.
The Cass County Sheriff's Office says a deputy tried to stop 23-year-old Andrew Vasquez around 8 p.m. on Monday in the area of 32nd Avenue and University Drive South after they saw him popping wheelies on his motorcycle. When the deputy activated their lights, they say Vasquez immediately fled to a dead-end road. The deputy then tried to detain him by grabbing hold of his arm, but he took off and crashed at the intersection.
He was checked out by medical personnel before being transported to the Cass County Jail. He was arrested for fleeing in a motor vehicle and driving under suspension. Citations were also issued for having no liability insurance and exhibition driving.
New information in a crash between a motorcycle and a fire truck back in April. 2 people have now been cited. Police and emergency responders rushed to the scene just before noon on April 12th at 45th Street and 40th Avenue South in Fargo.
The North Dakota Highway Patrol says a pumper truck was responding to a structure fire. A motorcycle then changed lanes and sideswiped that fire truck. The man who was driving the motorcycle, 37-year-old Shalik Sharif, was thrown from the bike, seriously injured. The crash report says the fire truck did have emergency lights and sirens activated at the time.
Sharif was cited for operating a motorcycle without an endorsement and changing lanes without regard to other traffic. The owner of the motorcycle was cited for no liability insurance and not registering that motorcycle.